Boom. Good morning, guys. It's a beautiful day today. Honestly, oil is down a lot. Oil is at $79 a barrel, under $80. This is after the president tweeted over the weekend the U.S. is locked and loaded and ready to go against the Iran at levels of military terror strength and power not seen since World War II. Despite this, we have just been asked by Iran and other Middle Eastern countries to hold off any attack and that the perimeters of a deal has been agreed to. This would include immediate, complete, and total reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and an end to Iran's nuclear threat. Based off of this, I have agreed for the future benefit of the world, and likewise the survival of successful and prosperous Iran, to cancel the attack subject to being able to rapidly make a deal. And so oil has fallen down pretty significantly over the weekend. Again, if we take a look at it here, it is at 87 or $79 a barrel for WTI US oil, WTI crude. And so we'll see if this holds. Again, this is about the fifth or sixth time we've heard this. And so, obviously there still may be some skepticism around all of this, but we'll see what happens to oil today. Indices are up. The NASDAQ is slightly green on the day at 28,500s. The Kospi index overnight did fall again about 5%. If you look at MU, it's down. SanDisk, it's down. SK Hynix is down. So there's still memory fears out in markets right now. And part of these is from, some news that we got regarding China. We did get news that Alibaba debuted another AI model. They described it as low weight. And so basically people are worried about China getting more deeply involved in AI. And you can see Alibaba is gapping up. GameStop announced an offering, and so they are down under $20 a share for GameStop overnight. But yeah, we have gold, which is slightly green, very slightly green. Oil, again, really down, and indices up today. Now, this is a week where we have SpaceX earnings for the first time. We're going to see SpaceX books essentially tomorrow. And so we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, SpaceX does release earnings. We have Palantir earnings this evening. They are gapping up pre-earnings right now, and let me know what you guys think about all this. Now, we did get the news about the president, about the imminent deal potentially getting done, but we also had others that essentially went back on that and said essentially that that's not true, which is kind of similar to what we've heard throughout the midst of this conflict. And so yeah, we'll see what ultimately ends up happening here. But oil is down today, chips are still down. Nvidia, if we take a look at it this morning, is at $199, so still under $200. Michael Burry seems to be sitting pretty in most of the trades that he got involved with. Gold is slightly green, and we've got a whole week of job reports this week. So tomorrow we have JOLTS. Today we have manufacturing PMI, ISM manufacturing PMI, which is usually the larger one. We do have JOLTS tomorrow. Wednesday, we have the ADP employment change data for the month, which is, the largest ADP report that we get. Thursday, we get jobless claims. And then Friday, we get the official NFP non-farm payroll unemployment report. And so we got a lot of things going on this week. We've got big tech earnings. We've got jobs reports and a lot of stuff going on in markets over the weekend that, are really moving, especially oil here. Let me say hello with the chat. What's up, chat? How you doing? What's up, SpaceX? What's up, Zeke? What's up, Ava? What's up, Deez? What's up, Old Hack? SpaceX Bull, Ace, Wanna Be a Trader, Shake and Bake, Brian, Frank, G-Man, Do, Dingle, Kickin', Christian, Mark, Jonathan, DJ, Scotty, Ashun, Matthew, Daniel, Checkerboard, Plasma, PB, Larry. Let me keep going here. Max, what's up, dude? Edson, Solar, Sam, Scotty, doesn't know. K, Larry said that. VV, Brandon, Slumdog, Darkage, Solar, Raven, Keith, Palantirs, Neon, Sabars, VA, J Violet. What's up, guys? Exotic, UE, Randy, Michael. Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful day. What do you guys think we're going to get in markets today? Honestly, like I said, we got a lot of stuff going on. One of the big news that's kind of shaking models is that Alibaba did unveil a new AI model here, and so they say it's its largest AI model yet. And also DeepSeek's latest model is ultra low cost as well. So Alibaba has their Quinn 3.8. Has 2.4 trillion parameters. It's approaching the Kimi K3's size. It shot up AI text and visual model leaderboards. And again, Alibaba, you can see it here, is gapping up. DeepSeek's version 4 Flash is by far the cheapest to run among well-known models, according to research firms. And so that is news that is still kind of scaring markets from China and, making people a little bit nervous here. So both kind of underline Chinese commitment to open weight models as they seek to gain traction among developers. We had Lian Jai Su, chief analysis at research firm Omdia, say, quote, Chinese AI companies have found an important market. Many business workflows do not need the industry's very best model. They need models that are good enough, affordable, transparent, and accessible, and open weight models meet that demand. And they said it's way cheaper than like Claude as well, some of these models. And so that is, more kind of fears and what's going on right now in regards to how much these things cost, how much these things cost to run. Baba, that's the model they stole from Anthropic. Nice roll call. What's up, Larry? Hey, good morning, Squirrel. How you doing, dude? I think it's a shit show this week. Yeah, maybe, bro. It depends on what the labor report shows. Honestly, I think if we get weakness in the labor market, the market could celebrate. They could also look at it as more, stagflation-y, I guess, if we get weakness in labor and still have high inflation. But, it is an important week, and we'll see what happens. Software, we can take a look at like Microsoft and Amazon this morning. Here's Microsoft. It's gapping up. Amazon, it's gapping up. These are the two winners from earnings season last week. Meta is also gapping up. So tech is kind of rebounding a little bit. What's up, Crispy? Chinese models eating U.S. models breakfast, consumers facing AI. Yeah, but I think you also have to kind of consider the U.S. models are still ahead by a pretty big margin. Now, these are threats to them, but we're still early in those, I think. No? China's going to have a massive global influence. Yeah, I believe so as well. Yeah, we're here today. Y'all should see my view here this morning, guys. Y'all should see my view. I'll see if I can point the camera. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Let me see if it'll let me. Look at my view this morning. I don't know if y'all can see this, but can y'all see that? Look at that. Oh, we got a nice view this morning here. Google gapping up. Yeah, most tech is gapping up this morning. Look at Google, though. Google's up. Again, GameStop got, they did an offering, so they had to dilute, essentially. And GameStop is down pretty big. NVIDIA down. MU still down to under 800s, and it's still falling after the Kospi index dropped overnight. So there's still a lot of memory fears going on in markets. And again, this heads into Palantir earnings. We have SpaceX first to look at their books, and SpaceX has been getting absolutely crushed, down to 107s right now ahead of its first public earnings report. And so we'll see what happens there, but it's still kind of up in the air regarding SpaceX. But the big news over the weekend is, again, the president announced that he canceled strikes on Iran at the request of Tehran and other countries, subject to making a rapid deal. Oil is down pretty significantly here. Oil still pretty low right now, under 80s, which is low all things considered. Yeah, SpaceX getting absolutely destroyed. AI hasn't taken jobs. We have so many apps, it's not funny. Weak labor, higher inflation, not good for markets. Yeah, what's up, Steve? How you doing, brother? Yeah, man. I mean, you could say it's stagflation. I mean, generally when we started giving out the word stagflation, we were in a much worse situation, but I believe yields are down today if we take a look at them. So probably from low oil. I mean, oil's down, so yields consequently are going to be down because of that as well. Here's 2-year treasuries. Yeah, they're down slightly today. You can kind of see they're down from kind of the Iran conflict and all that stuff. You can see yields here. Where's my pen? Hold on, let me get this thing out. There it is. You can see yields fell over the weekend, and we were at 4.23%. So This is all good heading into the jobs report. And again, I think if we continue to do this, markets might continue to interpret dovishness. Uh, and if we get a weak labor report on top of that, then maybe we'll see the odds start to swing a little bit for the next rate decision. Oh yeah, Steve, they're still up overall because oil, I mean, is still high. Inflation is still up there. So, not this week, but next week we get CPI data. So we get even more important stuff going on. CPI is really important. Yeah, Bitcoin still all the way back down to 62s here. Not really holding that 65 level it saw earlier last week. Remember, SK Hynix CEO mentioned something about memory oversupply. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if the China news necessarily helps that. But here's SK Hynix. It's at 138.60s. It's still falling down some. It's still been pretty weak. SanDisk, 1100s again. So SanDisk still fading. And again, Kospi did drop overnight 5% or more. So we'll see what that looks like heading into it. But yeah. Friday, the Kospi had one of its best days ever. It was up like 18% on Friday. Today, overnight, it dropped 5.05%. And again, Alibaba, one of the winners. Baidu, one of the winners. And so we had the record best day for the Kospi on Friday, and then we basically dropped again overnight. It caused some bounce backs. But yeah, after Alibaba unveiled their powerful new model, that's still scaring markets here in that regard. Again, Microsoft ripped 15% last week, reaffirming CapEx and not raising it. And they're still up today. They're at 473s. Amazon raised CapEx by $20 billion, and they're up today as well. But they had the AWS growth 37% plus 37% for AWS. So people kind of saw it as justification for CapEx. Meta's even back up today, and Meta dropped 9% for raising CapEx, only a very small amount. Apple had weak guidance, but it's even green on the day today. So, yeah, my markets seem to be resilient. Again, we do have ISM manufacturing PMI today at 10 a.m. So we'll see what that looks like. And yeah, when we have the labor report, remember, we have the non-farm payroll unemployment report on Friday this week. So far, it is expected at 85K is what I'm showing here on Market Watch for the labor report. We pull this up. We're showing, that's next week. Let's see, here it is. Yeah, it looks like we're expected to come in around 85,000 for non-farm payrolls. Unemployment expected to uptick to 4.3%. We also have average hourly earnings dropping on Friday as well. So we'll see what that looks like. What's a good poll option for the day, guys? Give me a good poll option. Yeah, Bitcoin cold wallet attack hit 4,500 addresses at losses near 89 million. So another crypto hack kind of scaring people regarding Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's down. So yeah, so basically the crypto market is currently reeling from a big exploit targeting cold card hardware wallets. It drained up to 110 million in Bitcoin. Over 1,300 to 1,700 Bitcoins have been stolen from roughly 4,500 to 5,000 wallets. This was reported on July 31st. Place losses at 38 million, but it quickly climbed over the weekend. By today, they expect the losses to be anywhere between 86 and 110 million dollars. It targeted long-term holders. In one issuance, a Canadian entrepreneur reportedly lost 18.25 Bitcoin, over 18 Bitcoin, worth 1.6 million in under 7 minutes, despite keeping his wallet seat in a physical safety deposit box. So this breach has caused Bitcoin's price to slump down today, and it's down to 62,600s. Even though yields are down, Bitcoin should react well to lower yields because more easing potential. But again, the hack news kind of freaking markets out. So Yeah, that's where we're going right now. And we might continue to see stuff like this as AI continues to get better and better in this regard. People are going to find more ways to hack and get into stuff. So, does oil stay lower? Yeah, what's a good poll? Just buy chips. I think chips are honestly pretty cheap where they're at now. You know, the PE ratio on these things are still very low. You need HBM chips to, you know, create NVIDIA chips. You need HBM altogether. And PE ratios being low, I think eventually we'll see a bounce back. What do you guys think? Are chips, you know, do you guys like chips here? Yes, I saw the market moving a little bit. I saw this drop. I couldn't really figure out what it was earlier. You see this drop right here? Like, I couldn't really figure out what this was right here, but maybe it wasn't news. I saw the volume jump up a little bit on it, but oh my gosh, dude. But yeah, big news over the weekend is the Trump news. But yeah, you see the volume spike at around 6 a.m. my time, which is like 7 o'clock market time. What stocks do you guys want to buy today? Tyson Foods just reported numbers, so it did just drop. Sour cream and onion. No, they are expensive. I mean, PE ratio wise, they're not, but physical Bitcoin. What are you joking with the physical Bitcoin? Or are you talking about like physical? HBM isn't softening anytime soon. IBM CEO said to sell Bitcoin safety reasons. Kramer sold as well. Yeah. And the question again, I'm going to go back to it. Was Michael Burry right about all this stuff? Yeah, again, he's shorting NVIDIA Micron stocks. Added more to his shorts recently. Put out a filing last week that said he added more to these short positions. And I think he's pretty green in all of them. It'll depend on where he added to them. But I think he's pretty green on most of these. Adam Aaron with AMC said AMC Entertainment shatters weekend revenue record, set the highest weekend revenue mark in the company's 106-year history. Over 10.2 million moviegoers attended AMC theaters in the U.S. AMC generated its highest total revenue ever for a single weekend through Sunday, including new records for admission, new records for food and beverage. Marriott posted numbers as well. I see that the U.S. is going to tighten robot import rules, so the FCC is going to restrict imports of certain Ford-made advanced robots, including humanoids, quadrupeds, and some automotive devices. Morgan Stanley expects limited near-term impact on Chinese humanoid robot makers, as existing FCC-approved products remain exempt, and U.S. sales are minimal anyway. We also see news that Hormuz, again, oil being down so much, but we got news Hormuz crossings remain limited on August 2nd yesterday with 9 confirmed transits. The latest daily set included 2 sanctioned vessels, 2 Shadow Fleet vessels, and all 5 rest vessels. The Bab al-Mandeb crossings eased to 30 only on August 2nd, down from 37 on the 1st and 41 on July 1st, or on July 31st. So crossings are still limited here. But yeah, GameStop's offering down to 1930s here. I mean, I look at Nike. I'm not really happy to look at it because I'm in it right now and it's been down, but it's up a little bit today, so it's still okay. Let's do a poll. How about, does the market want stronger or weaker payrolls this week? Stronger, weaker. I'm going to even give it an option. I'm going to say both. All right, so does the market want stronger or weaker payrolls this week? You can vote on that poll now. I'm buying software. What are you buying? ServiceNow? It's up today. It's up to 115s. Adobe is up as well, so software is bouncing back a little bit here. Yeah, I mean, I think you could argue both sides here with the question regarding payrolls. I think the market could want both sides. Here, I'll be right back. Yeah, I didn't think about the glare that I might get from this window here right next to me. It's a nice view though. It really is. It's a great view. Stronger payrolls? Chavo, leave me alone, bro. Leave me alone. I'm trying here. I'm trying. Here's oil, man. Does anybody want to buy oil this morning? I think there's risks, obviously, in buying oil today. If we get more pronounced news regarding a deal with Iran, obviously oil might continue to fall down, but it is down a lot overnight, and we have heard these things before. We did have some members in Iran basically dispute some of this. Tyson Foods just came out with the numbers. I'll put Tyson Food numbers up in the chat. Yeah, so here's some of Tyson Foods numbers. They just dropped TSN. They're reacting somewhat to this. She kind of trades. I mean, she doesn't trade a lot, but she kind of trades. Yeah, MU dropping. Here's MU. Still falling down. Look at MU. Cracked 790s just now for MU, so it is still falling down. Again, Baba up after they're debuting, after they put out their new model. Look at MU though, just cracked lows of the day, still at 789s. Like I said earlier, the Kospi index dropped 5% overnight after having its strongest day ever on Friday. Oil is at a happy medium right now. What's up, Pawn? Oil will go down 5% to up 3% in one news drop. Yeah, for sure. That's what I say. There's risks. There's definitely risks regarding everything going on right now. All right, looking at our poll, I asked people does the market want stronger or weaker payrolls? 52%, 53% say stronger, 28% think weaker, 20% think both. It's hard to tell what the market wants. Obviously, if we have stronger payrolls, that's a little bit more hawkish, right? That might push yields higher. Why will that push yields higher? Well, because a stronger NFP report means more potential inflation. And with more potential inflation, yields are up. And this is all with oil. But look at MU still fall down to 787s here. Nobody's coming to help us. Well, we'll see, my friend. I see Iran could face further economic hardships, domestic unrest, or renewed military attacks if it fails to secure a final agreement with the U.S. within the proposed 60-day negotiation period, according to former Foreign Minister Javad Zarif. But yeah, look at MU, guys, still dipping down here. Yeah, look at MU, man. Still dipping. SK Hynix, still dipping. SanDisk, still fading down. SanDisk just broke lows of the day as well. MU at 788. And listen, MU and the other HBM providers shouldn't necessarily drop on the Chinese news. Like, they still use NVIDIA chips, right? So the Chinese AI models still use NVIDIA H100 chips, which to produce H100, you need HBM, right? So you still need memory to produce them. So if anything, it could be good for them. But again, memory fears are just still here. We had the news about Leo, and his AI-centered hedge fund get liquidated last week. Essentially, he was over-leveraged in AI. He ended up having to sell all of his portfolio last week, and then Ken Griffin at the Citadel came and bought it up. There were rumors that, like I said last week, there were rumors that Ken Griffin put out some of the hawkish rate hike sentiment, tanked markets even more, and then bought it up for 50 cents on the dollar. And so that is another big story this week. Emory will hit a wall. Fear and greed is neutral. VIX is in the 15s. Yeah, I mean, the markets are up today, right? So the VIX is going to be down. Just because there's more optimism. Oil's lower. Markets are optimistic. Tech is doing better today. Not just software tech, but just tech in general. So the VIX is going to be lower today just because markets are not down. Memory will hit a wall. NVIDIA earnings will tell more. Yeah, NVIDIA earnings is still the centerpiece to earnings, I think. I mean, we got some earnings this week. Again, Palantir's this evening. SpaceX is tomorrow. So we do have some earnings this week. But, yeah. Fear and greed is neutral. Memory stocks are just dipping overnight, a continuation of some of the fears from last week. The Kospi index dropped 5%. I see somebody say, I arrived late. Why are memory stocks dipping? I mean, there's not really a reason right now. It's mostly just specifically that, the Kospi jumped 18% on Friday, the largest single day ever, the best single day ever in terms of percentage gains, 18% on Friday in the Kospi. But prior to that, we had some deep pullbacks in memory, in Kospi center names like SK Hynix. And so today we're just kind of seeing more continuation of the memory fears is what this is. Markets are still nervous about memory, apparently. I still think some of these are pretty cheap down here. The problem is that you don't know when this downward push is going to stop. Right? You don't know when it's going to stop. You don't know when, we're going to find a bottom here in memory, right? So short term, there's obviously risks. There's obviously potential headwinds in memory short term. Long term, though, in my opinion, I still think these are pretty cheap. And if we're looking at price to earnings, if we're looking at the need for HBM, I still think these are pretty cheap where they're at now. Maybe I'm wrong here. And again, chat, let me know. Do you guys disagree with me? Long term, I'm not talking short term. We might continue to see drop short term in memory names. But long term, I still think maybe we'll have, some rebounds. And these might be pretty cheap, all things considered, where we're at now. But let me know what you guys think. What's up, Faye? Zero memory slowdown. Memory runs 200%. You get pullbacks. Yeah, 100. Yeah, exactly. Fix this a little bit. There we go. Would you say this is possibly overblown? I mean, the CXMT fears and the Kospi crashing. Yeah, I mean, it could be an overreaction. But a lot of these are up so much in the last year. If you look at MU, and you look at just how much this thing ran in the last year. SanDisk is probably a better example of this, right? But here's a yearly chart. And so if you look at, or here's a weekly chart. Here's 2026 so far. But if you look back to the start of 2025 here, this is MU. So MU went from 2025, started off at 94, under $100 a share, went all the way to 1,200, up 1,000% plus. Some are going to argue these pullbacks are reasonable. And I think when you look at a long-term chart, this doesn't look like a bad pattern here on the long side. Like, it looks like we ran up, now we're dipping down. We'll see if we go back higher. But I think there's questions about memory right now for sure. And there's reasons to be nervous. But I don't know if they're enough to tank these this big of a percentage. Again, China getting involved with lithography, with CXMT and the other kind of scary stuff going on. That's not good for some of these domestic chip producers like MU. But the question is, does it justify these pullbacks? And I don't know. Like I said, I think long term, we're still probably cheap down here. Short term, we might keep falling, is my take on it. CMXT, yeah. A lot of people in profit are going to take it. Some people say they created AI scarcity to pump the price. Yeah, Baba releasing another model, though. So we did get news again. We talked about this earlier. Alibaba And here's like a Reuters article on this right now. Alibaba getting into chips. On Monday, they unveiled their largest and most capable AI model to date. Just to quote this, sending its shares surging. So Baba's up big on the day. And so it kind of shows the advancement in AI by Chinese tech firms. But still, these Chinese tech firms, like I said earlier, and you can look at Baba here and see that Baba is up on the day. I don't really like investing in Baba personally, but you can kind of see a lot of these are up on the day. The thing about it, though, is that they still use H100 NVIDIA chips. If they use H100 NVIDIA chips, H100 NVIDIA chips need HBM to produce them. Like, they still need HBM. And so HBM, in order to make the NVIDIA H100s, you need HBM as well, which still shows demand for HBM. And so if anything, the China news could kind of help chip stocks. I mean, they're not today, obviously, but it just shows more nations needing HBM. But again, this is an emotional sell-off. This is a fear-driven sell-off in chips. So yeah, that's essentially what this is. But yeah. Yeah, long term, I still think they're fine. If SanDisk has bad earnings, how cooked would people be with highest leverage positions? I mean, you'd be pretty rough spot if SanDisk has bad earnings. I mean, if you're in SanDisk super leveraged and they have bad earnings, I mean, I don't think that's a good scenario, obviously. But you know, be careful. I mean, I don't know. If SanDisk has bad earnings, last earnings report for SanDisk, again, they skyrocketed, man. They were at 650s, 600s, the last SanDisk earnings report. They're still at 1100s now. So they're still almost 100% up, depending on which price point you look at. So fake chip pull down. This is bullish. Very interesting with Baba. Oh, Britt's not here today. He had something he had to do, so he's not here. Who's Greg, though? Definitely, where's Greg? Here's the NASDAQ here. Again, NASDAQ still kind of falling down with some of these chip names. But I don't know what kind of trade I want to get involved with today. Let's see. Everything's so pinned to geopolitics. Gold, oil, all that stuff. It's so pinned to geopolitics. That is kind of tricky, I would say, here, no? I mean, the NASDAQ's still at 28,500s. Yeah, look at the NASDAQ start to dip here, though. So we are starting to fall some here on the NQ. Look at this. See if there's news. I don't think there is, but let me see. Eli Lilly says breakthrough therapy status for pancreatic cancer. Tesla Europe sales showed mixed July trends. Tesla July registrations are up 86% in France and 52% in Denmark, but still down 97% in Norway, 81% in Spain, and 60% in Sweden. Again, last time Tesla did have record deliveries, but again, investors are now waiting registration data from some other countries this week. Look at the NASDAQ here, though. It's still falling. Look at MU. It's still falling, cracking lows here. So again, the chip sell-off continues today. 783s, consistently breaking lows. Where's the low on MU of the last? Okay, so 705s we hit last week. I mean, obviously, we're still at 780s, but if we start to break under these levels here, that's a scary level here for sure. So you can see 705s right there. That's the low of the last few days. And the NASDAQ continues to fall. What's oil doing? Oil's actually dipping a little bit in unison with it. But the NASDAQ still falling. Mostly chip related though, I think here. MU 785s. NVIDIA breaking down under 199s. It might go up overnight. It might go for the overnight low on Friday. Yeah, for sure. Gold just popped. Yeah, gold is jumping up a little bit as well here. I'm looking at news. Let me see if I can figure out anything else. But I don't see anything that would really pop like this. But gold is jumping up a little bit here. Volume came in as well. NASDAQ continues to tumble here, though. Look. Interesting. Again, GameStop had bad news overnight. They agreed to exchange 1.4 billion convertible notes. So, dilution here. Palantir earnings are this evening. I stand by 10 to 20% correction come November. Yeah, look at the NASDAQ still fade. Yikes. Yeah, Oracle's up on the day. Most tech is green, though. This is mostly just chip sell-offs, I think, here. Man, look at the NASDAQ still dip. Might buy this dip up here. I'm going to buy a little bit right here. It's a risky bet, but we'll add some more to this. We had a very good week last week and the week before. So we'll see if the chip sell-off stops. They say don't catch a falling knife, but we'll see what we get. We'll take 3 to 5 contracts here. Small greed right now. We'll just see if the bottom is it here. We'll take 4. That's that close to the gap. What's up, random? Hey, nice core tip. Take my first 2,000 payout from Tradeify. Yeah, Amazon was an interesting one here. So, like, Amazon, here, we'll get it at 5. I wanted 5 this whole time. So, Amazon, you know, they raised CapEx, which every other stock this week, or in earnings season last week, that raised CapEx went down from earnings. Amazon's a little bit different. Again, the AWS did show 37% growth. But Amazon's kind of the outlier here regarding CapEx. You know, Amazon did raise CapEx 20 billion to 220 billion. Meta only raised their bottom line number by 5 billion from 125 to 130, and they dumped. Now, again, Meta's a little bit different. They had really bad EPS, but still, Amazon's kind of the outlier for CapEx last week. What's up, Alyssa? Sharp drop. Yeah, again, oil, man. Does oil bounce back today, guys? Yes or no? What do you guys think? Hyperscalers. Would I be surprised if Bitcoin? Yeah, the Bitcoin hack is freaking people out. You know, $110 million or more was liquidated in the Bitcoin hack. So the Bitcoin hack still freaking markets out. I am long here. I'll cut it under 400s if it doesn't hold. I might have gotten in at maybe kind of a scary fear market, but we have been raising our share size a little bit, or our contract size some. Yeah, but Iran confirmed no deal is in talks. Yeah, but that's what they're gonna say. Like, listen, man, with most of these geopolitical moves, okay, historically, when we have a conflict like this, right, until the very end, especially the Middle Eastern side is going to deny. They're going to deny, right? Because again, that puts the most public pressure, right? So even if they're coming out saying they didn't get a deal, in the past when there was a deal, even if the deal eventually faded away and was canceled, but in the past during this conflict, even when they came out saying there was no deal, sometimes there was. And so just because they came out saying, oh, there's no deal, it doesn't necessarily mean there isn't one. And you don't want to get into the habit. And again, I'm not picking sides here, like I'm politically. I'm just explaining what the trend is historically with stuff like this, right? Like historically, the Middle Eastern side will deny that there's a deal, even if there is one, right? Until the very end, until it's absolutely like certain, just to continue to put pressure. You know, you got to understand how these conflicts work, and that's generally how they work. And so just because they came out saying there's no deal, markets don't really buy it. I mean, oil's still down a lot on the day. but the truth is somewhere in the middle a lot of the time as well. Oh, the president also does the same thing in that regard. They say what's going to give them the best edge in terms of pressure versus neither. Again, the truth is in the middle is the easiest way to put it. You make it sound like this happens all the time, dude. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but we have historical precedent for it, for sure. Like we do have a historical precedent for it. Like, look, I could show you what I mean here. All right, so it looks like my entry's acting as resistance. We'll see. All right, so yeah, I'll give you guys some history. The 1979 Egypt-Israel David Accord setup. Is Egypt and Israel technically at war since 48? Both sides publicly denied any talks were going on. Both sides publicly blamed the other. But in reality, there were secret Morocco meetings for 18 months. In 93, the Oslo Accords, Israel had a law banning contact with the PLO. PLO denied all Israeli contact publicly. But again, there were secret meetings going on for months. And so both sides will typically deny it if it suits them. All right, so we are moving up a little bit. Let's see if we can get a little bit larger pop here. Yeah, in 2015 with the Iran nuclear deal, Iran denied U.S. talks. The U.S. denied Iran talks. The reality is that they were secret meetings for 2 years leading up to that. And so again, this is the playbook. You got to understand how these things work. This is kind of the playbook that they use. All right, I got to kind of sell some of this here into this pressure probably. We might bounce more, but I'm going to get out. Is that your biggest fan? Who's my biggest fan? This fan back here? Yeah, that's him right there, bro. He said hit the like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button. All right, NASDAQ's still testing these lows. Is memory still falling? Yeah, look at the NASDAQ dip here. Look, don't get me wrong. Like, again, let me restate this. There's certainly a good chance that we don't get a deal. That we don't get some type of ceasefire deal. There's certainly a great chance, and I think you would be crazy to think it's certain right now based off of the history of this specific conflict. But I think both sides are still probably talking in some ways. They're still probably talking. They're still trying to work this out, and that's probably the truth. Again, the truth is somewhere in the middle. They're probably talking. They might deny it on both sides, or at least on the Iran side, especially because that puts the most. It's better for the president for a deal to be in the works. It's better for Iran public pressure on the U.S. for there not to be a deal in the works. And so both sides are just going to say what benefits them the most, regardless of the truth. Oil down 6.5 today. Yeah, I mean, that's from the president. Again, the president put out this tweet over the weekend. If you didn't see the tweet, this is why oil's down so much today. I got to find it through all these ads on Truth. But yeah, the president said, quote, the U.S. is locked and loaded and ready to go. Despite this, we have just been asked by Iran and other Middle Eastern countries to hold off any attack and that the parameters of a deal has been agreed to. This would include the immediate, complete, and total reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and an end to Iran's nuclear threat. Based on this request, I have agreed for the future benefit of the world and likewise the survival of successful and prosperous Iran to cancel the attacks, subject to being able to rapidly make a deal. That's why oil's down. More deal news. So MU is down to 782s right now, so memory names keep fading here. What's the play today, guys? What's the sector? You mean the government lies to us? No, it would never do such a thing. MU down to 780s. I mean, the NASDAQ's green on the day. But the NASDAQ's also kind of fading with memory right now. Look at memory. Memory has turned deep red. Or deeper red, I should say. MU, SanDisk, SK Hynix. So memory's kind of fading this morning is what this is. Kospi dropped 5% overnight. $781s. I honestly, I'm really tempted to buy up some memory names here long term though. You just can't over leverage. If Leo didn't show you last week, you can't over leverage. Small, steady, maybe DCA trend in buying makes sense to me. Not an investment professional though. It's about to go negative on the day. It's getting close. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, NASDAQ is starting to give back a lot of the gains it made earlier today. So we could go negative. So a strategy just put out regarding Bitcoin. And again, Bitcoin's down because 110 million got hacked, down to 62,000. Strategy increased its US dollar reserve. Strategy increased its USD reserve by 250 million and repurchased 81 million of Stretch. This increased USD duration by 57 days to 2.3 years and tightened Stretch's Bitcoin credit by 5 basis points. They say as of yesterday, we hold 842,138 in our Bitcoin reserve and 4 billion in our dollar reserve. Speaking of the dollar index, I'm assuming the dollar index is down on the day. Yeah, slightly. Yields are down. They're still elevated, but they're still down. So again, Saylor sold 105 million in Bitcoin. Total Bitcoin held decreased to 842,000. Sold 291 billion in Strategy shares and repurchased 81 million in Stretch. We also had Deutsche raise S&P EPS forecast. They lifted their 26 S&P EPS forecast to 358 from 342 in 2027 to 420 from 390 after strong earnings. A record 87% of companies have beaten estimates with profit on track to grow 33% in quarter two. The bank said earnings is broadening beyond big tech, supported by record margins and robust sales growth. So again, Strategy sold 1,637 Bitcoin over the past week, reducing its holdings to 842,138 Bitcoin. You know, Semi is down when software is up. Yeah, that's the market right now. But again, Adobe up, ServiceNow is green, Microsoft is up, which is kind of a proxy with software recently. AMD is down, MU is down, SanDisk is down. So chips are down, software is up. Apple's green as well. Apple's up to 312. It's kind of starting to rebound more this morning though. Yeah, China uses NVIDIA H100 chips, which need HBM, you know, which uses obviously HBM. So they can't produce their own, but Burry was right on software. Well, software's had a long road down here though. Like if you look at ServiceNow over a yearly chart, I mean, it's down so much. It's down what, like almost 50% in 12 months. You look at a weekly chart, it's worse. It was at 239s at its peak in 2025. down to 111s. So we're 115s today. No, it's not HBM for CXMT. Oil in the 78s now. What's up, Max? How you doing, bro? You still in an oil short, bro? Yeah, oil is down to 78.90s. And listen, guys, we got a lot of people here who watch the stream, never say anything. Chat right now with us, you know. Stop what you're doing right now. Say hello to the beginner trading stream lurkers. You lurk while I work, and that's okay, I guess. But just one time, just say something to the stream. We appreciate it. Where's our favorite AI bot, Britt? He's not here today. Still short in oil, Max? Okay, what's up, The Real? What's up, Rat Man? I like it. New background again. I knew John has multiple houses. We are here. You're driving, Christian? Lurker here? Hey, what's up, guys? I'm lurking on the toilet right now. Be careful, bro. Be careful. Pure Lurker. What's up, Neverlands? How you doing, man? What's up, dude? What's up, P-Scar? Maybe MU bounces back. I like memory right here, man. Again, maybe I'm stupid. Definitely possible I'm dumb. But I like memory down here. I don't know. Long term is what I'm saying. Long term, I think memory's cheap right here. I think we still need HBM. China's not producing it. They're down huge amounts. PE ratios are low. I think that sets this, that sets it up for long-term buys personally. But again, short-term, there's headwinds, and obviously they've been freaking dumpster fires. So maybe when we form a longer-term bottom, it looks interesting. But still think long-term, these are pretty cheap. I still think long-term HBM production is going to be needed, obviously. But hey, what's up, Astra? I appreciate listening to you. You give good news and info that's up to date. I come here to listen, I chat. It's all right, Brent. It's all good, bro. How about this question, guys? Does SpaceX beat or miss their earnings tomorrow? This will be the first time we get a look at SpaceX's books. Does SpaceX beat or miss tomorrow? They drop earnings tomorrow in the evening. Do they beat or miss? I'm kind of curious to see what SpaceX freaking does tomorrow. SpaceX earnings tomorrow evening at the closing bell. First earnings report we get. First time we get to look at their books. Bull or bear on SpaceX tomorrow, guys? What do you guys think? Let me know. Aloha, what's up, dude? Miss. Everybody says miss. I feel like SpaceX is due for a rip. In line. Yeah, I don't know. If we come in line for SpaceX, I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I don't know how they're going to react. We'll see what they do, but the big if they come in line. Miss, bear. Earnings will be trash. Miss. They jacked up all the earnings expectations going into the IPO. We'll take you for a surprise. What's up, Punch? Maybe some shorts covering. Stock is too low. SpaceX to $82 in 2 days. Honestly, I usually don't like theses like that where, it's kind of scary, but if they have bad earnings, maybe. Everybody's shorting SpaceX, so it'll probably pop. Well, yeah, I mean, Starlink and all that, for sure. Starlink seems useful, and I like the technology. But the stock has been absolutely scary right now. Here's the stock. Again, 106s this morning. Look at this drop. Maybe some rotation ahead of the earnings report, but look, 106s right now. It doesn't look good. Obviously, it doesn't look good. North of 1 trillion. No, I know about Starlink. SpaceX can beat or miss. Everyone will still sell, so it will go down. What's up, Jarrett? Guidance. Time to buy soon. Hey, we'll see, man. We'll see. Memory's starting to bounce back a little bit. I can't remember where I went long. I think I kind of went long around here. Now we don't look at PE ratio. What's up, Proxy? We instead look at Wall Street's mood. Yeah, and another one of the big stories here is OpenAI versus everybody else in terms of open source. OpenAI is still hoping they can keep their closed source models And they've been kind of coming out talking about that. Other companies like Nvidia and more are saying it's important to keep open source models there for continued competition with China. So is OpenAI still looking like the bad guy in AI? Is the question. You know, a lot of other companies pushing for open source to compete with China, but OpenAI still wanting closed source models. Yeah, I see somebody asking about Starlink. Yeah, Starlink is included in SpaceX. Starlink operates directly as an integrated segment and primary profit driver of the parent company. Yeah, so Starlink is fully housed in SpaceX. So, yeah. It's really their revenue driver more than spaceships and others. Hey, what's up, CJ? Scam Altman. Thanks for using dark mode. Please put a very faint watermark so that we old guys can see. What are you talking about, bro? Oh, on TOS? Dude, I've never been a light mode user. Dark or light mode, guys? What do you guys think? AI's glorified chatbot. There's not safety issues. There's programming and profit issues. Bro, but they're gonna find ways to profit from AI. Again, I think you're very. I'm gonna preface this with it's all love. I just disagree. They're going to find ways to profit from AI. Subscriptions, obviously, but they're gonna monetize it very simply through data. Okay, it's the same reason search engines make money. They're gonna profit it through data. You know, outside of subscriptions, it's gonna be data profit. You know. Bloom energy under 200. Dark always. Yeah, light mode's too bright, bro. It's not good for my eyes. But here's the S&P 500 here. It's at 75.56. The S&P 500 holding up a little bit better than the NASDAQ, which has been pulling back from memory names dipping down here. I don't know what I want to do here. Here's oil. A little quiet for news as well. They want more profit than from AI. They want total. People pay for it now. AI will grant the controller near invisibility. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna find ways to profit, man. Again, you gotta just think about it. These are big tech. They're gonna find ways to monetize these things, dude. Again, oil's still down. Again, the other big news, like, let's take a look at MicroStrategy. They posted earnings this week, which were not good. They're at $92 a barrel. Coinbase also got absolutely hammered last week. Again, really bad numbers for Coinbase. They missed by a huge amount. Memory is quite appealing, medium long term, as we don't lose support moving into warnings. I buy more SanDisk, no leverage though. Just be careful with SanDisk. I almost called it scam disk. I heard it so much. They'll pull open weights once everybody is locked in. I buy more SanDisk. Oh, moving into earnings, yeah, for sure. Whoever develops the first super intelligent AI will start a dynasty. Yeah, I almost called it scam disk. I still say Michael Blurry a lot, you know. Yeah, Google's at 362s. It's trying to hold up here. Yeah, but look at the NASDAQ still kind of come down here. It obviously looks bearish, but we prop our way up here. We're up to 432s. Also, guys, if you haven't already, join our Discord. It's completely free. It doesn't cost anything. Every day, we post a morning market brief before the market opens. Before we start the stream, we kind of break down all the big news stories going into it, so you can kind of get a recap of what's going on in text. And so if you want to join our Discord, it's completely free, doesn't cost anything. Here it is right here. Check it out. I mean, it looks bearish, obviously. The question, though, is that do memory names continue to fall? CapEx is doing all right, but MU down, SanDisk down, SK Hynix down. Here we're at 138.40s. So we've got a lot of drops in this stuff. We do have ISM PMI today. We'll see what that looks like also. Worry will hold too long. Not going to lie, cheaper the better. Almost 50% cloud growth in Amazon and Google is only from OpenAI. Very risky. No. Yeah, I mean, Google had that big EPS number. But, you know, part of that was because they're holding Anthropic, and Anthropic did really well that quarter. So, like, Google ended up having really good EPS numbers, but it wasn't operationally. It was more so from holding Claude and Anthropic. So that's the thing to consider here with all that stuff. I'm tempted to short the NASDAQ, though. Long or short on the NASDAQ right now? What do you guys think? I'm tempted to short it, but of course, if I short it, we're going to come out with some news that, like, a deal is imminent. A deal is about to get done. You know, oil's going to dump and the NASDAQ's going to rip. Iraq's North Oil Refining Company says that the fire at one of their refineries did not affect production. Long, sit on hands, oil keeps going lower. John, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I can't help but notice how Sam Altman, OpenAI, rhymes with Sam Bankman-Fried. Does it? I'm trying to think of how that would work. Maybe you're just being sarcastic, but I'm just gonna think it. Yeah, it definitely does. Definitely does. Now you've got me looking for dark mode, bro. If you use TOS in light mode, you're a freaking psychopath, bro. Who the hell uses light mode, bro? Who would be like, hey, my eyes can rest or my eyes hurt every time I look at a chart? Why would you want your eyes to hurt every time you look at a chart? You know, gotta be like Daredevil. All right, NASDAQ continues to get a little bit of strength back up here after falling some. Hey, what's up, Anthony? Trump might advertise his Truth Social $100,000 sub. We got some news last week where people were wondering whether we were getting something like that for it, you know? Like, people were wondering, maybe some of these early access APIs have access to the news before we do. We had some weird moves, though, last week, right? Like, last week, we'd see these big swings in oil, these big swings in things, and then I would look for news, and there really wouldn't be any. So, yeah, last week was weird. Yeah, look at the NASDAQ continue to fight higher here. Yes, Strategy sold 16,000 or 1,637 Bitcoin. I did see that, and Bitcoin's not doing good. But I think there's a lot of question marks this week. Markets might be a little apprehensive. Again, we got payrolls on Friday, guys. Payrolls on Friday. The last payroll report was weak, so we did get some weak payroll numbers last report. They showed up at 57,000 versus like 110 expected. I think this week they're expected to show up at around 85. Unemployment's actually expected to uptick to 4.3%. It was 4.2% last time. But again, I mentioned this earlier, but the big story this week is absolutely jobs. All right, so tomorrow we have JOLTS at 10. Today we have ISM manufacturing PMI at 10. Wednesday at 8:15 we have the ADP monthly report. Thursday we get jobless claims and more, and then Friday we get the official NFP non-farm payroll report. So this week it's jobs. Jobs is the story this week after the Fed meeting recently and more. Again, a lot of people criticize Marsh for not, really being super transparent but I think markets still reacted favorably. Again, last week, if you guys remember, we talked about this a lot, and I bring this up just because it's important for people to understand, like, discrepancies make money. If you think the market's overpricing in something that has low odds, like a rate hike, you can find ways to make money. And last week we did it with gold. I thought markets were overpricing hike odds. Gold was going to be sensitive to yields and interest rates. I just jumped in short here, by the way. And so we got into gold early, and because we thought we wouldn't, I told you guys we wouldn't raise rates. I made a stream with the chat, a bet with the stream last week. And the bet with the stream is that I would give up vaping if we raised rates, which I knew we would, I also went long on gold. All right, we're going to take a little bit off here. There we go. Kind of shorting this bounce. And again, gold wants lower yields because when the yields are lower, less people buy bonds and they buy risk-on assets like gold. And so when we would not raise rates, if we raise rates, it would push yields higher, make gold go down. But if we paused and rate hikes were over projected, gold should rip. And it did rip last week after the Fed meeting. We're going to go ahead and cover another piece of this here. Again, this is an Apex account. Apex still has their 90% off sale. You can get a $59 100K eval, no activation fee on Apex right now if you use my code BGT. Great way to help support the channel here. We appreciate it. But yeah, if you want to check them out, I'll put the link up. Good way to help support the channel. We're only 75 subscribers away from 175,000 as well. But again, if you want to check out Apex, you can use code BGT at checkout. Great way to help support your boy here on the channel. There's the link right there. Check it out. Bearish week. Hey, what's up, Code? How you doing, brother? It could be a bearish week. It depends on what the market wants. Again, the question is, does the market want stronger or weaker payrolls? We did this for our poll earlier. 45% of people think the market wants stronger payrolls. I don't necessarily know, man. I think if payrolls come in weak, markets might get more optimistic about lower rates. And markets want lower rates, especially risk-on assets like gold and Bitcoin and more. And so I think there's a chance at the very least that the market might react well to lower payrolls. It's definitely up in the air. It's a little bit ambiguous in terms of what the market wants. But I think the market wants lower rates right now. It might scare people regarding inflation, but I don't think it's necessarily going to do too much to inflation either way. But the question is, does market want lower or higher payroll numbers? I think to a certain extent they could want lower. But again, it's ambiguous. It's hard to tell until we actually see the reactions from the NFP report. Brits out panning for gold. Puts today, they own 1.2 trillion. Chart says PMI is at 845. Yeah, that's just the base PMI, the regular manufacturing PMI. The big one is the ISM, the Institute of Supply Management. That's at 10 o'clock today. And so at 9:45, we have regular manufacturing PMI. The ISM one, I think, will have a little bit more influence, though. It drops at 10 a.m. It's expected at 54. Yeah, so again, Treasury Secretary Bessent, he put in support for a Fed Reserve facility that Japan can use to bolster the yen. The U.S. and Japan's first simultaneous action on the yen in 15 years. They did say they won't hesitate to intervene again. So, again, treasuries rose, yields fell, on news that Trump called off further strikes overnight, or really over the weekend. We do have Palantir earnings today. The president's supposed to sign an executive order at 1:30 Eastern time. All right, so we're doing pretty good here. Maybe we can add more to this. We're just trying to let this thing sit. AMD earnings tomorrow, probably most important this week, followed by SanDisk. Yeah, I mean, SpaceX will be interesting too. Yeah, tomorrow we got AMD and SpaceX earnings at the same time, so that'll be fun. Maybe. SpaceX isn't supposed to release earnings until 6 o'clock Eastern time, though, so it's weird. It's 2 hours after the closing bell. It's a very strange schedule there. Hold on real quick. Let me cut this. I'm going to get out break even on the rest here. The big candle. All right, so Iranian President Pezeshkian's address to the public will be broadcast soon as he entered the third year of his presidency. And so maybe markets are going to start pricing in something there. But again, Iranian president is going to address the public. It's going to be broadcast soon, according to Fars. I don't know if that's going to help or hurt markets here. Yeah, Palantir earnings today. So Palantir releases right at the close. AMD releases at the close tomorrow, but SpaceX doesn't release tomorrow until 6 o'clock. Very strange. We also have Snapchat earnings as well. But the Nasdaq's starting to move up. We did make money on that trade, obviously, here. But here's MU. And Nvidia as well. Chips have been moving markets today. They're down on the day. Software is green. Chips are down, kind of that inverse rotation dynamic. But the Nasdaq's starting to fight its way back up here, heading into 8:30. We don't have any 8:30 data today, though. But we're starting to try to creep up here. What's up, Rand? Are we doomed? I don't know, brother. I don't think so, but who knows? Are we doomed, guys? Get to the chat. Again, Alibaba put out news that they're releasing another model. And so Alibaba's been up pretty big on the day. Apple's green. Meta's green. Code says, I see a down week this week. Have a good day. Hey, thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, sir. Again, we're at 567s for Meta. Where's gold at? What's gold doing? Gold is almost flat on the day. It's pretty choppy. Still tempted to short this, but do I short another bounce here? I think maybe. But take some more. Add some, maybe up to 5. Take 5 right there and leave it there. Hey, what's up, Farmer? What's up, Ski Bum? The beach is good. I don't know if y'all can see this. I showed this to the chat earlier, guys. I showed this to the chat earlier, but look. This is my view right now. So it's a nice view for the morning. I'll give it that. It's a nice view. All right, so we are in our short right now. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Peace talks, are they fake? I don't know if they're fake. I think they're just, you know, I don't know. Again, they could be fake for sure. They could be real, though. That's the thing. Nobody really knows. I mean, some people know, obviously, but I don't know here. Nobody really, outside of insiders, know. Trump thinks he's on Deal or No Deal. Yeah. Again, with conflicts like this, part of the conflict is perception, you know? And so, obviously, we had some members come out, I think it was Arachi, or however you pronounce his name, come out and say there's not any deal, that they're not in talks or anything like that. But again, that's pretty standard per historical stuff. Like, even if there is, he's not going to say it. They're going to keep their cards close to their chest, if that makes sense. These talks will drag out. Yeah, we're in this short right now, though, guys. Do me a favor, hit the like button. We appreciate it. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Where are you guys watching from this morning? All right, so there we go. We are green. Okay, we'll take a little bit off here. Where are you guys watching from this morning? I am in sunny Florida. Not quite sunny. It's actually a little bit overcast. All right, we'll take a little bit more off here. There we go. Canada, the moon, Texas, Edmonton, DC, Wisconsin, Philippines, Texas, Germany. Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit more off here and see if this holds. Larkin from Michigan. What's up, Alex? Florida, North Carolina, Florida. Parkland, Florida. Gainesville, Florida. Connecticut, Philly. Yeah, we'll hold the rest of this break even, but we should have it, you know. Indianapolis, Long Island, Egypt, India, Philippines. Hey, well, welcome, guys. So basically what y'all are telling me is I'm a star right now. I believe that. I believe that. Ugh. I'm an international star is what y'all are telling me right now. Sydney, Calgary. All right. Earth, that's fair. Plausible, you know. A lot of Floridas now. You're right. You've gone global, John? Yeah, I guess so, man. Peace Scar. I guess we have. We're at 450s right now. Let's see if this holds. Again, we can only break even now. The rest is the plan. Still going to be green on the day. We'll set a stop loss right above some of these levels. This is 305. Top 3 international trader. Yeah, we're trying over here. Did we just lag out a little bit? I don't know. Let me know if we did. Mine lagged just a little bit. Might add some more to this short position, though, if we keep breaking down. We'll see. It's kind of flat right now, though, but it looks like a broader downward trend. Yeah, let me know if we lagged out a little bit for you. There we go. We're back. Okay. Dropped frames, didn't lag. Yeah, my bad, guys. All right, let's see if we keep dropping here. As that coming back down a little bit. Where's oil? Where's memory names right now? Let's see. Memory names at 790s. For MU, SanDisk. NVIDIA probably the bigger mover here. NVIDIA's still breaking down. It's at 198s. Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah, my dad's side's from Bama. But I'm an LSU fan, so go Tigers. But still. All right, so Hassett says inflation numbers have been fantastic in recent reports, according to CNBC. Yeah, but I mean, that's because oil was down so much for the June report. You know, like June and oil fell so much, it fell down to $68 a barrel. And then by July last month, it had pushed all the way up to like 90s at some points. And so the inflation numbers are going to be low last time. They were going to be low. The big question mark is what the next CPI report shows, because we did rebound in oil in July, right? So it's more inflationary. Yeah, the July report's going to be the interesting one. UK baby, what's up, Mosh? I think we're going to have a serious reversal right here. Just tuning in. Do we have any data reports coming out today? We got some. I mean, we have ISM PMI data at 10 a.m. today, and that's something for sure. So we got ISM data today. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Yeah, top 3 worst pronouncer ever here. I'm still in my short, but we only got 1 contract left. We've kind of scaled out of this already. We got to stop loss that now. Maybe I'll add more to it if it keeps falling. We'll see. A lot of chip fears this morning. Yeah, Hassan said inflation numbers have been fantastic in recent reports. UBS thinks food inflation is going to stay higher for longer. UBS expects food inflation to remain elevated, driven by climate-related supply shocks, labor costs, livestock standards, and strong demand. Again, Saylor sold Bitcoin again. Total Bitcoin held decreased to 842,138. He sold 291 million in MicroStrategy shares. Did buy 81 million in Stretch shares though. So Bitcoin still, it still fears. Again, we had a hack regarding Bitcoin overnight. That's one of the reasons we're seeing drops. The cold wallets were attacked, drained up to 110 million in Bitcoin from over 1,200 addresses. So Bitcoin's down on the day. Still looks bearish to me here. I mean, obviously, you zoom out, you put a longer term chart up, it looks like we're in a bearish trend, but the last 5 minutes have been really sideways, really choppy. Do we have any data this morning? Yeah, we got ISM PMI data later. Let me get rid of the stop loss. I'm just going to manage. I'm going to cut it myself. Yeah, I'm watching it. Again, we're still green, but I'll manually cut it if it doesn't look good. Yeah, dude, I ate Burger King for the first time in years. And I can't lie, it was kind of good, dude. I liked it. My wife is kind of a health nut, so she doesn't let us eat fast food. But we had to when we came back from Michigan, and it was good. I can't lie. Sailor sold again, cold hard. Cold card. Rising wedge. Yeah, I mean, I'll cut it if it breaks over my entry. We'll be green on the day regardless, but it's kind of flat right now. Bro, my wife has like freaking Antarctica right here now, though. I was looking for a sweater. I didn't bring a sweater to the beach. Maybe I should have. All right, look, we're going to get out here, break even, and wait. Again, chips are starting to show some signs of bottoming here. But so far this morning, we've had MU, SanDisk, SK Hynix, the Kospi overnight drop a lot. So chips are still nervous. Gold is still fading down big here too. Look at gold. So gold almost going red on the day after being green most of the day here. Look at gold fall. The gold's still dipping some. Yeah, we have ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 today. Regular manufacturing PMI at 945. Is Kospi in the US market correlated? I mean, yes. Kospi is basically a proxy for chips in general, specifically HBM chip producers like MU, SanDisk. But what's actually in the Kospi is SK Hynix and Samsung. And so Strength in the Kospi is strength in HBM chip producers like MU, SanDisk, and more. Weakness in the Kospi is weakness in SanDisk, weakness in MU, definitely weakness in SK Hynix because SK Hynix is in the Kospi. So yeah, the Kospi going down overnight freaks markets out. It's one of the reasons we've seen a lot of weird pullbacks in memory plays. Yeah, I mean, the only news I'm seeing right now is we have Hassett speaking. But again, he's going to be dovish, right? So Hassett, whatever he says is going to be dovish. He says, quote, Fed's Chair Wash is moving things in a positive direction. Inflation numbers have been fantastic. Yeah, saying dovish things. But look at gold. I don't know why gold's falling. NASDAQ's popping up. It looks like it could be some news. But I don't see anything yet. Kuwait's July crude oil production rose to its highest level since the start of the conflict. Looks like I got out just in time here on my trade. Okay, so we got news maybe... I mean, this was a while ago, but Pakistan sources suggest that the U.S. and Iran will hold indirect talks initially through mediators, and the nuclear subject will not be raised at this point, according to reports. And I'm looking at other news, but I don't see anything aside from Hassett. What's oil doing? Let's take a look. Oil's not really moving at all, so not geopolitics at the very least. WTI gap down. Yeah, I mean, it gapped down, Code. Basically, again, I talked about this earlier, but the president tweeted over the weekend that the U.S. Was asked by Iran and others to hold off on any attacks, and that the perimeters of a deal has been agreed to. This would include the immediate, complete, and total reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and into Iran's nuclear threat. Based off of this request, I've agreed for the future benefit of the world and likewise the survival of successful and prosperous Iran to cancel the attack subject to being able to rapidly make a deal, end quote. Right, so that is why oil dropped down a lot. When I looked at the futures open yesterday, oil was down a big amount. And you can kind of see what oil did heading into the weekend. So markets actually started to price in on oil. More escalation over the weekend, not less. You can see oil was here prior to the weekend closing, or the weekend starting. It gapped all the way down to here by Sunday evening yesterday. The Sunday open started here, and you know, we're really kind of back to those levels. We went up a little bit overnight, but then we kind of faded back down here on more hopes of a deal. So will we get a deal this time, guys? Yes or no? Let me know in chat right now. Will we get a deal? I don't freaking know. But yeah. I trade prop firms mostly. And again, use my code BGT if you want to help support the channel, guys. Great way to help support the channel. Did I pin it to the top of the chat? I don't think I did. Here's the Apex link. Again, the 100K eval is still $59, no activation fee. I'll pin it to the top. Do we get a deal? I said yes, yes, deal, nope, no, no, no. About the 9th time we're going to get a deal? Yeah. Nope, no deal. Deal or no deal is what I'm asking you today, guys. Deal or no deal. Some of you guys might be too young to remember that show. BGT stands for Big Great Trades, is what it stands for. Definitely not beginner trading. It stands for Big Great Trades. You know, huge deal, the best deal anybody's ever seen. They walk into the room, they say, "Wow, would you look at that deal? Tremendous deal." Yields can't climb further. No deal. Yeah, I mean, deal or no deal. Most people say no. I don't know, man. I'm hoping we get something. History says no. Recent history, maybe, for sure. No. Yeah, yields are down a little bit on the day. They're still really elevated, though. Again, this week is going to move yields. Again, payrolls Friday. That's going to move yields. You know, more geopolitically, you know, more geopolitics news could certainly move yields. Oil goes down, yields should go down with it. And that's why yields are down overnight as well. It's because oil's down to under 80 a barrel. But oil's starting to climb up a little bit here. Look, 79, 18s. Still under 80s though. Still looking better here for inflation. All right, so I see all 6 Saudi flag tankers sailing in formation in open waters off the coast of Somalia on August 3rd, according to ship tracking data. All right, so Hassett's done speaking on CNBC. He was speaking for a little while. Didn't say much, but look at oil starting to jump up a little bit. Hold on. I don't think this is news, unless it's the ship tracking data that I just covered. But oil just popped. Hold on. Do y'all think this is catalyst driven? Here's oil. I mean, I don't think so, but it could be, I guess. Oil popping up a little bit here. Onk. You're calling me Onk? That's all right. I got $100. What should I get to use trading as my income? $100, bro? Chat, what should he do with his $100? Oh my gosh, bro. If I could take this song off the list. Oh my gosh, dude. He's got $100. How can he make trading it his income? You can buy a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with that, bro. I don't know. Looks like news to me. It's something pushing oil up. It's not a huge move, but it's something here. I'm gonna keep checking. Again, the only thing I see is all 6 Saudi flag tankers sailing in formation in open waters. One of the 6 has Gibraltar as its destination, according to ship tracking data. I don't think this is news related, though. It's not really that big of a move. And this is that news. I'll put it up in chat right now, but this is the news we're talking about. Yeah, $100 is just not enough, dude. And again, if you get involved with trading, the problem is that if you get involved with trading with that little amount of money, you're going to be so emotionally tied to it that you're going to make bad decisions generally. Not always, I mean, but most of the time, you know, if it's one of the questions I hear a lot, which is, should you quit your job to start trading? Probably not. Why? Because you're going to be so emotional. Emotions are bad, guys. Some say emotions are not good in trading. And so the more emotional you are, the worse your trading is. And if you have to live off $100, or if you have to live off purely trading, you know, it's generally not good for your emotions, and you generally trade worse, is what it is. So just to be honest, $100 is just not quite enough. You need kind of a little bit of a, you know, you need a little bit more. And by a little, I mean a lot more. And so I would say 1,000 is, you know, pushing it too. I would say you need like 5K, just to be honest. I'd rather just be honest with you guys. I could tell you guys to go buy an Apex account or Lucid account or whatever it is, but I feel like that would be irresponsible of me. So I would just find a way to have consistent income outside of it, and then you'll have like a cushion that you can use to learn, and you'll still probably lose, right? But you probably would have more of a cushion in that regard. $100 would get them 5 Apex accounts to practice with. Yeah, I mean, you can get 5 Apex accounts. You just got to understand you're probably going to lose it. And so if $100 is all you have, that's a bad move. Now, if you got $100 to spend and you want to start learning, yeah, get some accounts. I would paper trade first, regardless, though. Even, you know, and again, I would love to tell you guys, just use my code BGT, go buy Apex, go buy Lucid. But I think if you're brand new and you got $100 to learn, paper trade first. $100 get you a job application. It might not, bro. It might not. You might not even get that for it. John's here all week shooting down hopes. Mo, let me be the dream killer here, bro. It's a start. It's something, yeah. Yeah. In all honesty, I think you need a 1 or 2K. Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, oil running into that 200 exponential, and it seems to be holding down a little bit, heading into the 9 o'clock scrum. Here's MU, here's SanDisk, Tech, here's NVIDIA. I'm so bored of the talks of a deal narrative. Dude, I've been here talking about it longer. I promise you I'm tired. I'm tired of the geopolitics. I'm ready for this conflict to end. Who knows when it will, though? You know? Who knows when it will? Might be some time. Gold dumping down for some reason. Gold's been falling down even more now, which is weird because it's yield sensitive, but yeah, I mean you could practically use $100. It depends on whether $100 is all you have or not. If that's all you got, probably not the move to waste it in trading because you're gonna lose it. I mean, most day traders lose money, guys. This is what I always tell people about. Like, you're gonna lose money day trading. At least I did. A large majority of people do. If you don't lose in the very beginning, you're just lucky. But I think you need to go into it with that understanding of that you're probably gonna lose money. I already bought the Lambo Dream. I'm gonna post a series 100 to how to turn $100 into $1 billion. John at Beginner Trading. Again, this is the face for the cover. This is the cover of the book right here. It's just gonna be this face. You know, I think it'd sell out. You know, look at that Apple. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's see what we get today. How do I pre-order? Yeah. Hey, coming soon, dude. Coming soon. Here's oil. Oil's hitting that 200 exponential here. Are y'all bullish or bearish for the opening bell? Tenet Healthcare, what do you think? What is Tenet? THC. I just don't know anything about this. I'd give you some advice on it, but I just don't know anything about it, bro. I'd rather just be honest. I mean, it had a big move. Looks like from earnings maybe a few days ago, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about this, brother. Oil. Deal on Monday, war back Friday, maybe. Yeah, Will says no. You could start with $100 easy. In 2020, I turned $200 and turned it into about $1,500 in about 3 months on penny stocks. Yeah, but that's a gamble, bro. I mean, all of it's a gamble, but penny stocks is definitely a gamble, brother. I mean, you can do things like that in penny stocks, but the risk and the edge, I think, is the edge is low, the risk is high. Oil's still starting to fall down a little bit here, though. Just rejected this 200 exponential. Look at oil. That's a swing to the downside here. Let me see if we have news. I don't think we do. Yeah, I don't see any news here. It just looks like a normal swing. Need to start somewhere? Yeah, you do, but all right, we got the 9 a.m. scrum going up in 2 minutes here. 2.5 minutes. Oil dumping, gold dumping, stocks dumping. Can you believe I started with $130? I went down to $18, but now I'm up $440. I bet you won't believe me. Oh, I believe you, bro. I mean, look, if you're in penny stocks, I mean, that's how it goes. But the problem is that that's not usually sustainable. And so sometimes it'll go like, it's kind of, again, if you've ever heard of the martingale roulette strategy, it seems like it might work, but it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't work is because eventually you lose everything. And so it's a situation in which you might win, lose everything. And so because of that, it just doesn't work. So you might win the majority of the time in martingale, but when you lose, you're going to lose everything you got. And so, and a lot of people trade in the same way, where you lose, or you win, you lose everything. Grab that 5-pack of Apex accounts to learn if you're serious, but you'll need more cash if you pass it. Yeah, for sure. Anyone telling people trading pennies is a good idea is wild. Yeah, I mean, look, penny stocks are freaking crazy. That's what I lost money in when I first got started. I mean, I also traded like the Roku IPO. I was trading some stuff when I first got started, but just be careful, guys. I mean, you can find your niche. Some people probably can do it successfully. I don't know if I'm one of those guys, though. All right, let's look at 9 o'clock. Let's see what happens for the 9 a.m. scrum. This still looks bearish, but I think if oil rises, or oil continues to fall, maybe that's not. Look at all the people who made well off financially, but no one will say penny stocks. Yeah, you can look at all the big guys. Big money doesn't usually trade penny stocks. If you want to see what works, follow the big money, and big money doesn't trade penny stocks. Again, people make so much more selling courses off of penny stocks than they do actually trading the penny stocks. And if they don't do that and they actually make money, like you see a lot of the penny stock gurus, what they do is they front load into positions, and the penny stocks are usually low float because those are what makes the biggest percentage moves. So they front load and then they call out the penny stock to their following and they pump it up, right? And then they unload on their following and half the people get stuck holding the bag of losses. Very common. And then a lot of the time, again, they'll take a picture of it and post it for social credit. So then they'll take a picture of it and they'll be like, look, I just made 30% in this penny stock. And it's like, well, yeah, by pumping it up and then dumping it on your followers. But again, new people that don't know the market, maybe they don't have a lot of money. There's a lot of confirmation bias in penny stocks from people who specifically want to believe that you can make a lot of money with a small amount, because people have small accounts, right? So they want to believe that you can do it, and so they're more likely to ignore the red flags. Gold is popping up. I see the NASDAQ starting to pop up. This is the 9 a.m. scrum that we're seeing right now in markets. Gold's moving up a little bit. This is just the 9 a.m. order flow coming in. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to be too specific. But yeah, just be careful. NASDAQ, again, it still looks bearish to me. All right, I'll take a trade. Y'all talk me into it. I'm going to short this. We got 2 rejections at the 200 EMA. We could chop for the data. We're green on the day, by the way. I'm going to take 5 contracts here. We're trying to scale up our size. But we rejected a couple different times at the 200 moving average. All right. I don't know what caused this drop all of a sudden, but something did. All right, I'm going to take half off there, I guess, or 2/3. Or not 2/3. Let's take a little bit less than half. Let's see if the drops continue. Let me look at news. Make sure nothing's coming out scaring my positions here. Deutsche Bank sees gold fair value at 4,700. They remain in an explosive phase, they say, that began in August with its models pointing to a year-end fair value of around $4,700 an ounce above its 4,600 Q4 forecast originally. I think gold's probably cheap where it's at now. Hey, dude. Hey, no. Hey, listen. All right, we're starting to break down a lot here. I'm going to take some more off of this and see if we get continued momentum to the downside. I don't think this is news related, though, but it could be. Penny stocks will turn your portfolio to pennies. All right, we got a nice little red move. Shout out to the people that told me not to short. I'm going to take another half off just for you. Maybe hold this last little piece. We're very green on the day now. We got a cushion here. Yeah, good timing for sure on this one. Again, we rejected multiple times in the 200 exponential. I love the 200 EMA. Algorithms generally like this move. And so I didn't hate how it looked, but we'll hold the rest break even now. Yeah, again, software stocks are up today. Memory names are down. MU, SanDisk, SK Hynix. Buy gold right now on this dip and sell it at 10 a.m. Maybe. All right, let's see if this holds. It's very small right now. We've already scaled out of most of it. I can just hold it break even. Now, I really like holding things break even. I'll set a stop loss too. Why is the Dow up? Probably software related. Okay. I mean, I already had this one. I'm good. What? A beer? You think I'm gonna drink beer, Jack, at 8 a.m., dude? Of course not. Never drink beer at 8 a.m., Jack. Fatherly advice. You already have to be quiet, dude. Get out of here, man. All right, I just got stopped out of the rest of that. Yeah, my wife's here being like, hey, John, do you want a coffee? I was like, no, I already got one. Yeah. All right, so we are pushing up now here. Let me see if we have any news. I don't know if we have some. Let me see. Really choppy right now, to be honest. Dad mode, yeah, for sure. I'm not saying I never have, but no. Amazon is moving. Amazon's kind of moving. It's up to highs, but it's not like breaking out or anything. Apple's still fading down some. Oh my gosh, bro. How do I get this song off of my playlist? Gold just fill the overnight gap. Yeah, here's the Dow. Did I say the Dow boomers? I did. Dow's flying up this morning, probably on software. Again, GameStop. Gap's down on offering news. AMD's still down ahead of their earnings report tomorrow. Again, SpaceX does have their earnings tomorrow as well. Palantir has theirs today. I was here at 126s. Oh, y'all can't see me. I never fixed my camera. Let me fix it. There we go. Oh. Stocks will be the Rocket Man today. SpaceX earnings, yeah, I mean, most people think they're going to miss. It'll be their first look at the books, though. They're at 106s. They dropped a lot this morning already. They're at 105s. So, here's Google. Tesla. Turned from predicated bouncing up after filling the gap from Friday, then reversing after going up to now sideways, possibly again. Yeah, I mean, we make a move down. Oil's still testing some of these lows, though. Like, here's oil. Under 80 is the key level here with oil. I think if we look at oil, here's $80 a barrel for WTI crude. I think that's going to be a big psychological level that people pay attention to, right above where we are now. So 80 is relevant. Obviously, we had the low from yesterday's open here, which is right around 78, 75 right here. People might be watching this kind of range. Sorry, it's a terrible drawing. I don't have my mouse pad today, but yeah, people might be watching that kind of range between 80 and the low of yesterday's open. Or the low of the session. So that's what I'm looking at on oil. We'll see if it holds, though. I mean, geopolitics news could obviously swing this. Gold's also really flat on the day, basically right in the middle here. Yeah, IBM, software companies are up. IBM, ServiceNow, Adobe, they're all green on the day. Chips are down, MU, SanDisk, SK Hynix. So chips are down, software is green again. Sub $100 incoming. For what? SpaceX, I'm assuming you're talking about? Again, the big news overnight, guys, just to give you guys a recap of the morning news. One of the big stories, obviously, was Trump's tweet saying that a deal is imminent. The other, that pushed oil down, obviously. The other news is that Alibaba is getting into AI. Okay, they dropped more stuff regarding AI here. If you look at the Reuters article that came out, Alibaba is getting into AI more heavily here. Again, on Monday, they unveiled their largest and most capable AI model to date. Shares surged. Research firm said DeepSeek's latest product offers cutthroat pricing that is more than 100 times cheaper than Anthropic's Claude Fable 5. So these two developments have kind of caused some more fears regarding China and AI and whether we have overvaluations. But that's some of the other big stories. Alibaba on that news is gapping up pretty heavily here. So that, oil, earnings this week and more. And really, it's the labor report week. We got ISM PMI data at 10 a.m. in 50 minutes. Yeah, CMXT plant. Here's gold. Gold's still chopping sideways. Oil still sitting close to the lows here. But not moving a lot. All right, so real quick here, we just got some news. I don't know how old this is, but we did just get some news about a minute or two ago. It said, Iran responded to the latest American proposal by refusing to open the Strait of Hormuz until the war is completely over. The Iranian source said, quote, the U.S. has made a concession to Iran regarding the closure of the southern route in the Strait of Hormuz. But we are seeing, according to Al Mayadeen, citing an Iranian source, that Tehran rejected the latest U.S. proposal, insisting the Strait of Hormuz will not fully reopen until the war ends. The source also claimed Washington made a concession regarding the closure of the southern shipping route in the strait, although they haven't been independently verified. And honestly, we're not even seeing oil move that much on this. So most of this came out about a minute ago, but I don't see much movement here in anything, especially not oil, which would be the first to react. So strange here, but that news did just drop. Oh, I'm sure it dropped about a minute ago. And so, again, so an Iranian source says the U.S. has made a concession to Iran regarding the closure of the southern route of the Strait of Hormuz. Here's that right here. I'll put it up in the chat. Did I say Washington? No, I said Washington. Yeah. Probably positive means total war. Load up on oil for the dip. All lies, no deal, more manipulation. Weird that, honestly, I find it very strange that this news just came out and we don't have any real move in oil. I would assume this would push oil higher short term, but oil's just staying staying steady here. Hold on. Did I speak too early here? Oil just had a green candle. NASDAQ moving down, oil moving higher. Unless I cover this early, look at oil here, guys. It's kind of a delayed reaction though, no? Why would it react this late? Again, this news came out 5 minutes ago. Oil's starting to jump up right now. Very weird. It's because everybody knows the back and forth is BS. Yeah, look at the late reaction to oil. It's probably going up on that news, but we covered it a full minute or two before the reaction, which is very strange. Usually markets digest this immediately. So very odd, but oil back up to 79 plus a barrel for WTI crude here. Yeah, again, we got 15 minutes until the market opens. Kind of a delayed response in oil, though. Weird. NASDAQ moving down simultaneously. Weird. Again, this is on news, probably. Unless we got another one here. But that Iran rejected the Hormuz proposal by the U.S., according to Almaya Dean. They rejected the latest proposal, insisting the Strait of Hormuz will not fully reopen. They also claim Washington made a concession regarding the closure of the southern shipping route. Now oil's starting to come up a little bit, but weird. Bro, we need you to purchase Taco VIP premium services. Yeah, I see that first last. Bro, you're literally early. That's the whole point for being up at the open. Definitely early. You heard it here first, guys. Or whatever kind of marketing gimmick you want me to say for having that early. Hey, what's up, Don? Do I buy this dip in oil, though, is the question. If we get a dip, do I buy it? It's down a lot, but we got to be careful because the geopolitics landscape is a little sketchy right now, based off of taking short-term trades. Maybe I should have bought it already because oil looks like it's continuing to push. What's up, AT? Yeah, who's Matt? Do not buy it. I'm telling you, please do not buy it. Well, you told me not to short earlier, and then it went down, and I made money on the short side. I'm not saying I don't believe what you say. I'm not saying I might counter trade you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying I'm better than you. But, you know, too late to buy it. Alright, look, I'm going to buy this right here. We bought oil. We'll see what happens. Do you think SpaceX earnings will dump markets tomorrow? I don't know if it's going to dump the market. I don't know if it's heavily weighted enough. But, alright, we're going to add a little bit more. We got 6 oil contracts here. Bro, if Dingleberry's right, I'm going to have to eat my words here, dude. I've never wanted a trade to work out so well for me right now. I just went long on oil short term after this pullback. We got a very large cushion on the day, by the way. So, regardless, we'll be all right. It's relatively small considering oil's range, but... Again, the U.S. has made a concession to Iran regarding the closure of the southern route in the Strait of Hormuz. All right, we got a little bounce here. Such a small trade, though. We got 6 contracts. All right, that's better. Take half of that off right there. There we go. We're getting close to the opening bell though, so I gotta be careful. Market on open data is in like 7 or 8 minutes. So I mean, people cared about the Kospi index going down 30% for sure. I mean, the problem though is that the Kospi index had its strongest day ever Friday. 18% gains on Friday. And so we had its strongest day ever in the Kospi. And then overnight last night, the Kospi index dropped 5%. So people definitely still care. All right, we're going to cover this break even now. So people still care for sure regarding chips. But we've seen some crazy swings here in these markets. No, I got out. We got out. I think we made money on the trade, but we got out. Maybe Dingleberry was right. All right, oil's still falling down some here. Dingleberry, you were right. I was wrong. You were smart. I am dumb. You're very good looking, and I'm not attractive, bro. You got it right so far. I made money on the long side, though. I just want to put that out there. I did, I think, make money on the long side. I was already green on the day, so I'm not 100% sure whether I made money on that last one. But at the very least, I don't think we lost much money. Coordinated market manipulation. All right. Yeah, that was a bad trade probably, but it's all right. Yeah, everybody gets in some bad trades sometimes. That's how the market goes. Did Sailor sell you the crystal ball? He should have. Yeah, ISM data comes out at 10 a.m. We got a manufacturing PMI at 9:45. ISM manufacturing PMI at 10. Honestly, we're just kind of sideways here, to be honest, chat. We're not moving crazy. We're just kind of flat and boring. What sector do you want to buy today, guys? You want to buy software? You want to buy chips? You want to buy oil? You want to buy gold? Let me know in chat right now. We're at all-time highs in the queue in the next 2 weeks, shorting Bitcoin, silver, oil, shorting the Dow, energy, industrial, large caps, Soxel. Whatever goes up, I mean, that's fair, Nathan. It's going up. It's going to fill the gap. John, more than likely, it hasn't finished getting to the Friday end unless it breaks that yellow line you have there. 200 at EMA. Nothing, only shorts. Software long term. Honestly, bro, I still think memory's cheap. Long term. Short term, we might crash in between long term and short term. But long term, I still think it's cheap here. PE ratios are low. HBM's still needed. China's not really competing with us in HBM. I think memory plays are still kind of valuable. I know it's kind of a counter Michael Burry trade, but I still think memory is kind of cheap. I picked up on oil and software. Buying Apple. Man, maybe on this pullback, Apple might be kind of cheap, though. Maybe. And again, guys, Apex still has their big sale going on right now. Apex, if you want to learn to day trade, most day traders lose money. And so if you want to learn to day trade, if you watch me doing it and you want to learn, most day traders lose. Right, the good thing about Apex is that they have the cheapest accounts in the game. You can get 5 accounts. Wait a minute. You can get 5 accounts right now for $14.99 each. They actually have a larger sale going on right now. If you use my coupon code BGT, 5 accounts, $15 each, $75 total for 5 accounts. If you want the other one, which is the 100K no activation fee account, it's $59 right now. So if you want to learn without that much risk, they give you a demo, they test your skill. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. The base one, again, right now, $15 if you buy 5 of them. That's very cheap for an eval account. If you want to check it out, here's the link. A great way to help support the channel. You just got to use my code BGT at checkout. You'll get the max discount. It's a little choppy, but I think, you know, lately at the opening bell, we've seen markets. There's the link right there. Lately at the opening bell, dude, we've seen volatility get unlocked. And so I'm curious to see if that's what we're going to get today. The market on open data drops in about a minute. So let's watch the NQ leading into that, because the market on open data could move things here. Here's oil, still creeping up a little bit. But the NASDAQ very choppy leading into the opening bell. We have less than a minute before the market on open data. You said you were never going to ask that ever again? I lied. Yeah, EOD is a better option for sure. And if you want EOD, I like Lucid. Lucid has end of day drawdown options and basically everything. And so end of day drawdown options doesn't follow you higher. And so you're allowed to kind of really, my favorite strategy, if you guys watch me trade, is building up a cushion and then using that cushion to take more risk. And so here's the link. More size, I should say. Lucid's great because it has end of day drawdown options and everything. And then Lucid just unveiled their new daily plan. And so the new daily plan on Lucid, if you look at it here, allows daily payouts, no activation fee, no consistency rule, and funded. It does have an intraday drawdown. If you want the end of day drawdown option, you can select that though and kind of pick your path with the daily plan. That'll give you a 50% consistency, but I think that's fine. I would rather go EOD with 50% consistency in a Lucid account. I like those a lot. But it depends on where you're at, really. And again, if you want to check it out, here's the link. The barrel is being sold physically. What's the benefit of being funded? Hold on real quick. NASDAQ dipping down on the market on open data. So here's the market on open data. NASDAQ is having a red candle from. It's still kind of a choppy range leading into the opening bell, but we do have a red candle now. No consistency in the funded. I'd rather have it no in the funded. Look at the market on open data, guys. Look at NASDAQ. The benefits is that you take, you know, very small amounts of risk, get some pressure, learn how to trade under pressure, and if you're good enough, you can take payouts and make money. 90-10 profit split in most. And so most day traders lose. So like if you fund your own account, like $1, $2, $3, $4, $5,000, you're probably going to lose it if it's your first account, or even if you're good at trading, you're probably going to lose it. So it's just less risk in general. You're still probably going to lose if you're new though, but it's a lot cheaper to lose $20, $30, $50 than 2, 3, 4, 5,000. All right, NASDAQ still coming down heavily on this. I think this is the market on open data. I see news that the president is going to visit Cali on Tuesday and Nevada on Wednesday to promote economic achievements. U.S. government's volunteer frontier AI model review process is set and done, according to CNN, citing a White House official. The voluntary framework outlined in the June 2nd executive order is complete. Discussions with industry about next steps are underway. As of last Friday, several industry sources told me they hadn't seen the draft details, but expected meetings this week. Look at the market open data tanking the markets, though, here. Guys, NASDAQ is falling down. I don't think this is other news. Let me check real quick, though, just to be safe. I think this is just market on open data here, guys. Look at the NASDAQ turn here, though. Interesting. Oil's not moving, so this is just the market on open data, but it's bearish market on open data. Look at this. Is that the low of the day? Yeah, heading towards the low of the day here, guys, in the NASDAQ. Look at this red. 2.5 minutes, less than that, but NASDAQ showing red. That's not just market on open data. I don't know what this is, to be honest. I don't really see anything that would move it like this, though. Oil's not moving, so it has to be tech related. No, let me see what chips are doing. Chips are fading. Nvidia, so it could be the AI model news, is what I'm assuming this could be. Again, U.S. government voluntary frontier AI model review process setup is done. According to CNN, the voluntary framework outlined in the June 2nd executive order is complete. Discussions with industry about next steps are underway. Nvidia did not like this. It's down to 197s here ahead of the opening bell in a minute and 20 seconds. So we do have PMI data after the bell today, guys, so just be aware. We do have PMI data dropping after. All right, we got the opening bell in less than a minute. All right, 30 seconds here, guys. Let's see what the opening bell brings. It's time. There's the NASDAQ. It's really close to lows. There's the bell. Ding, ding, ding. There's the opening bell here. NASDAQ is pushing towards lows, right at the lows of the day here. Opening bell just happened. NASDAQ's a little whippy, but it tapped the lows. Let's see what happens in everything else. MU just cracked lows, got down to 780s right before the open. Nvidia's starting to bounce back up. It's at 198s. SK Hynix is down. SanDisk is down. Google's pulling back a little bit as well. The chips. There's chips breaking down the market right now. MU's under 780s now. It's at 779s. Yeah, look at the red show up at the opening bell. NASDAQ falling here, just cracked lows of the day. Yeah, chips breaking down is what this is. Oil falling down too simultaneously, which is weird, but all right, NASDAQ still falling. Yeah, hit the live button if the market hasn't opened for you yet on my screen. You're just a little delayed on the stream. Just hit the live button. All right, we're down to 340s here. Fears are still here, guys. Look at MU. Nvidia's up a little bit, but MU is still breaking down. The memory sell-off is continuing right now. That is why markets are slumping here. Software, if we take a look at it here, is actually doing okay. This is still chip related. SanDisk down big, MU down big, SK Hynix down big. Still cracking these lows back down to 28, 330s here. Man, dude, it's been every day at the opening bell. Chips have been selling off here. MU down big. SK Hynix is down big. Samsung is down big. Or, SanDisk. Yikes, dude. The live is still here. Y'all can hear me, right? Somebody said, what happened to the live? Oh, we're here. Next, we got manufacturing PMI coming out, but there's a little bit of a rebound so far. MU's still down a lot. What's weird though is that like Nvidia, which has kind of been moving with chips, is up. Nvidia up to almost 200. It's green since the opening bell. Trying to go green on the day. I mean, I'm tempted to short a bounce here, but I got, what time is it? Okay, we're 3 minutes in. Nvidia's starting to turn back down. SK Hynix and MU. I'm tempted to short this, guys, but it's a little risky, and I think it's a little greedy as well. All right, I'm going to short it a little bit, dude. Just a little bit. We're going to take a little position here. Might take a little bit more. We're green on the day already. Plan is to add up to maybe 370. If I get squeezed out. We're going to add a little bit more here. Add a little bit more right here. Now, we're not going to add any more to it now, obviously. Probably going to cover this, though. See if we get pushed down quickly here. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit off and just lower my size just because it retraced some. Hit 400s. We get back over 400s, we'll cut the rest. Put us maybe flat on the day. We already made money in pre-market, but seems heavy right here still, though. There we go. All right, we're going to cover another piece of this here just to protect the trade. We'll add back, but now we're basically flat. Hey, buddy. No. Hey, buddy. Hey, listen. See, dude, like, bro, I love you, buddy. But if I'm working right now, don't come up to me like that, dude. I gotta cut it. I forgot about the trade completely. I'm sorry, guys. My son came over here. He doesn't have a shirt on. He's over here messing with my computer. Grabbing my phone. I love you, but cut it out. All right, there's an increased number of participants in the U.S. delegation in the Rome talks between Lebanon and Israel, according to them. Yeah, now markets are starting to pop back.
Go outside.
What?
Can I go outside?
No.
I was out there.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Kids, man.
Yeah,
One day you can help me with these streams, bro. But you gotta wear a freaking shirt. Now's the time to short. He's 12. Swap. He's not 5. Alright, NASDAQ starting to get some strength here. He wants to play video games. Yeah, probably. That's always true, I think. Look at the NASDAQ rebound back up here. Yeah, I'm not shorting this now. Let me see if there's news. I mean, we could just be having a huge rebound. The president tweeted, but I don't think this has anything to do with it. I think this is mostly Amazon driven. $284s. Amazon's run up to 286s. SanDisk, yeah, the president tweeted, but I don't think that's what this is, to be honest. Microsoft also. Yeah, I don't know how manufacturing data is going to impact gold. I mean, it might have some impact. It depends on which one, though. It depends on what the numbers show up as, how much over or under expected they show up. Anything that'll push yields higher is bad for gold right now, I think. But man, the market's swinging here. Look at the NASDAQ. Look at MU, though. All right, so we took a long here, and we are kind of green now. Let's take some more off up here. We bought the dip. Nice entry here, though. Let's see if it holds. But we bought the dip here. I'm going to cover it right there and get out. Yeah, I mean, we're green on the day, guys. So, I mean, we could have a, you know, we can lose money on that short and still make money. Yeah, I'm not home right now, obviously, guys. I'm still tempted to buy this dip again, but it's a little spicier for sure. And the volatility we've gotten at the opening bell, it's helped me make money a lot of the time this week, or this week and last week, but it's been kind of wild. I'll buy a dip now if we get it. Might not get it though. There's a little dip. It's not big enough. I'll buy the 200 exponential right here. Problem is that if memory names start to retrace back up, we got to cover some of it. Man, the moves that we've gotten at the opening bell, dude. We're now red on the day, but look at that drop. Yeah, this is MU starting to come back down. I might short a bounce here, but I don't know. MU looks weak. The retracements, though, that we've gotten are kind of wild. Yeah, this is some swigs. These are some swigs. Y'all be careful today. These are really whippy swings. MU still looks weak, though, is the problem. Because what's weighing on markets is chips, and so if MU is weak, the market's generally weak, but it's not perfect. We could really squeeze either way here, depending on what MU and these other memory names do. All right, so we did jump in that short here. What a freaking short. Yeah, I'm looking at MU to see how much it broke down. Still falling. There we go. Might add more to it just based off of the assumption that MU and others are going to keep falling. I'll add one more to this, but it could whip back up quite quick, so we got to be careful. There we go. Take a piece off of this again. Hold the rest flat. Yeah, we're gonna get out there. All right, so we're still green on the day now, but man, swingy. Again, the market basically follows memory right now is kind of what we're looking at. And so MU right around 775 makes me think this is another short, and I might jump back in here. I'm gonna jump in one and then we'll add to it if it keeps going down. Like I think it might. Nvidia's breaking down too, but we're trading small now because the swings are so heavy here. I don't want to take too much risk until we get in profit. I think it's better to add to winners in this situation versus adding to losers, obviously. I mean, in most situations it is, but yeah, we're green. We already took profit on our trade, but so swingy back and forth here. Depends on what MU does. Yeah, I mean, we might cut it. Again, we already made profit on the trade, so we can cut. I'm going to cut it too. I maybe should have shorted here, but we're still green on the day. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do anything right now. There's MU bouncing back, so we might start to see some swing backs up. It depends on if MU can get over the VWAP here. I don't know. MU's back up at 7. It looks stronger, but it depends on whether markets can hold here. Or it depends on whether chips can hold specifically. We start to push up, we might buy. Man, we're kind of running into some weakness up here too. I mean, they're both basically proxies for short-term market movements right now. I like looking at MU, but everybody's different in that way. Oh my gosh, dude, this song. Very big range, but sideways market based off of chips today, guys. We gotta start trending one way though eventually. Right at the VWAP. I think this VWAP level is important for MU, whether it can get over it or not. All right, guys. Oh, we had Chicago regular manufacturing PMI that just dropped here. It dropped at 53.9, only slightly stronger than expected, but basically flat. The big one is ISM PMI at 10. But we did get this just drop. Or swigs. ISM PMI drops in 13 minutes here, though, guys. MU did rejected the VWAP, though. See what MU does here. MU gets rejected here again. Markets might start trending down. Yeah, it's big whippy movements, but sideways. Here's another test of the VWAP by MU. Gotta watch NVIDIA as well here. NVIDIA's starting to come back up. It's almost back up to 200s. Again, here's the original manufacturing PMI. The ISM data is more important though. MU still starting to head back at 787s. Starting to push towards the top of the range here. Here's the NASDAQ. There we go. We're starting to head up, and then a big rejection at the VWAP again. And that VWAP is holding strong. I don't know what to do here. Gotta wait for the range to break, baby. We got a short-term and long-term moving average around the same spot. A lot of this is so memory related, it's hard to gauge. Here's the short-term moving average. We did get a bounce there. Maybe I could have bought that dip, but again, I'm being careful today. Yeah, right now my hands are off. Unless I'm gonna short a range, my hands are off. AMD earnings tomorrow. Maybe we go sideways. Hey, if you put a shirt on, I'll show you some stuff, buddy. You know, you gotta put a shirt on though. Yeah. Oh, you're right here. Shirt is on backwards. They can't see. The camera's right there. Look, here's my son, guys. Everybody say hey to Jack. He might run this thing one day. Yeah, we're kind of sideways. Saying hey to you, you're missing it.
You're missing.
Okay. All right. And he's gone. Jack, what do you think the market's going to do today? Green or red? What do you think the market's going to do today? Go up or down?
The market for what?
Stocks.
What kind of stocks?
All kind of stocks. What's called indexes. You think it's going to go down? All right. You guys heard it here first. Stocks are going down according to my son. You heard it here first. Surprise. Please stop spamming, brother. Please stop it, dude. No? Good call? Oh, no, half the chat would disagree. No, he's wrong. Yeah, he might be. I'm shorting now. He's not an investment professional. Again, he's 12, so you know. So Jack, why do you think the stocks are going down today?
Yeah.
Because they are? Okay, that's fair. You sound like a hedge fund, Jack.
What?
Nothing. Look, NASDAQ going down a little bit right now. We'll know if he's right in 7 minutes. Yeah, the ISM data, it's coming live, 10 a.m. Yeah, valid, 100%. That's as good of a reason as any, no, 100%, right? All right, guys, look, this is untradeable market right now. Maybe the market's waiting for ISM data. Maybe it's waiting for Palantir earnings this evening. Maybe it's waiting for AMD earnings tomorrow, which is probably the most plausible one. Maybe it's waiting for ISM manufacturing PMI in 7 minutes here. Google. People are telling me to look at Google. 373s. Still in this range, but yeah, Google's ripping up. NASDAQ in a big whippy range here. Here's the volume weighted average price though, guys. So like, here's the VWAP. We got to get over this first. It's kind of like a roadblock to strength right now. So if we can't get over this area, we might get exhausted and start heading back down. It also depends on what chips are going to do here. MU's starting to fade back down. Oil's starting to rise a little bit. NVIDIA is trying here also. NVIDIA's ripping up though, while memory, HBM chips stocks are going down. NVIDIA's back over 200s here though. 5 minutes left until the ISM data here, guys. 5 minutes. We are red on the day. We've had a pretty green streak. Here's the VWAP right here. We got to get over this. Most of software is green on the day here. All right, NASDAQ just broke that range. NASDAQ up a little bit here. We got 4 minutes left until ISM. I would trade, but again, we got ISM PMI data coming out in 4 minutes. Again, anything that's hawkish might scare markets here, in my opinion. So anything that's hawkish might freak markets out. All right, here we go, guys. We got 3.5 minutes left. We're red on the day, but we kind of slowed down trading here. I would, like I said, I would buy maybe a dip as long as we hold over that VWAP area. But the problem is that we got this data release in 3 minutes. I don't want that to influence my trades. It would have to be really short term. No, I'm not gonna trade. I'm not gonna trade ISM. Not right now. I'll wait until a minute after. Oh. No, I know the song coming up. Okay, now I was about to say. All right, NASDAQ still heading up here. Again, this is partly from NVIDIA and Google. NVIDIA rebounding. 201s right now. Google up. 370s. Memory also starting to rebound back up. So it's looking a lot more bullish. Again, 2.5 minutes until the data release. We'll see what it looks like. Still popping higher. Again, if you haven't already, check out Apex. Again, you can get an account for $15 right now at Apex if you buy the 5-pack bundle. No PDT and futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, commodities. Great way to learn. $15 accounts make it really cheap to learn as well. So you can check out the link right here. Great way to help support the channel. There it is. They are an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. I get paid by them. But genuinely useful. I try to be honest about it. NASDAQ still pushing up. ISM data in a minute and a half here, guys. 590s right now. Over 590. Yeah, right now we have like Nvidia moving in the same direction as memory chips. SK Hynix MU bouncing back. Tech and Amazon and Google doing good this morning so far. And so we're kind of seeing some positive correlation with a bunch of different sectors right now, pushing markets higher. There's the NASDAQ up to 610s. We got a minute left, chat. A minute left. Less than a minute. Hey, thank you, Mean Machine. John, please catch the easy bullish retrace. Hey, thank you, brother, for the $5 donation. I'll check out Circle after the data here, but I appreciate it, bro. 40 seconds left. $30 seconds. $20 seconds. Again, ISM PMI today is expected at 54. The last one that showed up earlier at 9:45 showed up slightly stronger, just slightly at 53.9. Today's expected at 54. Releases in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the report right now. Okay, it showed up at 55.6, stronger than expected. 55.6 versus 54 expected. 55.6, so stronger than expected. This could push yields down. 55.6 versus 54. But ISM manufacturing prices showed up higher as well, so it might be inflationary. This should push yields higher. We showed up at 71.1 versus 70 expected here. So markets don't like this because it shows higher yields. I'm sure gold is going to be falling down a little bit, but it's not really moving actually for gold. But the NASDAQ is reacting negatively. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move here. But again, we just showed up at 55.6 versus 54 expected for ISM PMI, and prices showed up at 71.1 versus 70. So higher prices, stronger manufacturing. It could push yields. Let's see what yields are doing. But again, I'll put the data up on screen so you guys can see it. But stronger than expected ISM data, stronger than expected prices. Let's see what happens. But here's the PMI data, 55.6. We'll put it up on screen. So far, it has pushed the market down a little bit from this, though. Again, why? Maybe because markets are fearing yields being high, is what I'm thinking maybe. There's the data right there on screen if you want to look at it. But NASDAQ has pulled back a little bit from this. See what yields are doing right now. They should be moving up. Yeah, yields are up a little bit from this. I don't know if it's enough to slow things down, though. I'll try to buy this. If first move is the wrong move dynamic, although it does mean higher yields heading into the jobs report. We'll give it a second. Memory names are starting to fall back a little bit, though, but they hit the VWAP, so let's see if that props them up now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it. We could maybe wait, but much risk. Maybe we'll hold a little piece of this. Yeah, today my trading has not been good. I have not been calling the market, but we've made $5 grand plus in this account over the last few weeks. So I mean, You're gonna have losing days. It's inevitable. I don't want to try to hold on to the green streak too long because. Oh wait, there we go. All right. Take one off there. The dip buy worked. Maybe we'll add to it if we pull back again. Buy to this dip. We are red on the day though. That's how it goes sometimes. The problem is that MU starting to come back down, so I'm gonna cut it there. Yeah, still kind of fading back down here. It depends on what MU does. MU is kind of a big story right now. Chips are still kind of fading back down, unfortunately, here. Hit the VWAP. Let's see if the VWAP props us up now. I don't know if it's necessarily a great day to trade either way. You can close it. We hit the VWAP though. Let's see this props in queue up though. What's NVIDIA doing? MU still trying to hold. NVIDIA's doing all right, but it's still kind of struggling up there. Sorry, I haven't watched the chat here. I mean, NQ's still holding though. What's gold doing? Gold's red, yeah. I mean, higher yields, probably not good for gold either. There's MU. Buy or sell here, guys? What do y'all think? It looks like it's starting to trend higher, though. Definitely a little bit of a whippy day, though, in markets price action. Maybe we start to break out in a specific direction, though. Long all day, buy, buy, buy. Easy double by end of year. Yeah, it all has to do with chips today, though. Chips are leading and pulling back things. Oil's gonna rip. Maybe. First move, wrong move. Yeah, I mean, originally we went down, but we're still at the top of the range. Short's taking the elevator down now, though. It's kind of bearish now. There's MU trying to hold up. Oh, MU started to go up even more now. Yeah, the VWAP's been respected a lot today. It's just not really holding in any direction right now. It's just whipping up and down and up and down. Watching MU try to get over that 200 EMA. It's been flat. Here's NVIDIA. Also one of the stories on the day. Look at NVIDIA here. It's been helping push markets up some. The 204s right now trying to hold things up even more. But NVIDIA just broke highs again here, chat. Hey, we got in a long here, but we're down on the day for sure. Let's see if this pops up. Ooh. I mean, I want to see it go higher, but it depends on NVIDIA right now and MU. There we go. All right, we'll take a piece off up there around the top. There we go. I'm gonna get out there. Green, but I don't know how much more NVIDIA is gonna run. NVIDIA back up to 205s though. It's one of the positions Burry's still red in. But yeah. What kind of account are you guys trading on right now? What are you guys trading? I don't know about Palantir. We'll see, man. I would assume it's going to do well. I'm gonna put it in sub-only mode, getting some of those scammers. Yeah, marine traffic data shows 39 combined crossings through the strait as traffic patterns across the two diverge. Bitwise exec says clarity's chances are 50-50. Schwab. Hey, good luck, Matthew. Eval funded in Schwab. Hey, good luck, Sleepy. Paper account still. Lucid 25K. Yeah, Lucid's good. I mean, look. Lucid I like because it has end-of-day drawdown options, which everybody certainly doesn't have. But Lucid's good because, like, I still think even with this new plan that Lucid Flex is the best move. Lucid Flex, once you're funded, end-of-day drawdown options, no consistency rule, no DLL beyond your initial trail. You only need to show 5 days of 150 or more for the 50K. So 5 winning days. I would much rather that than EOD than consistency. It's just 5 winning days because that's pretty easy to do if you know how to trade. So if you want to check out Lucid, I'll put the link up. I mean, honestly, we're down on the day, but we're still up a lot. And it might be time for me to walk away. Here's the Lucid link. Just remember to use code BGT at checkout if you want to help support your boy here on the channel. We appreciate it.
I'm already about to work for
Not that long. But yeah, on my account, just to show you guys here. Let's see what we're doing this month. No, this month's only a few days in, so we're not doing good this month. But let me see. Custom. We'll look since the beginning of July here in this account. Yeah, so since the beginning of July, we have earned net $5,668 in this account, running over 60%. So we're doing pretty good. We're running 61.3 stats accuracy. But yeah, listen, guys, everything we do here is free. We try to cover the news and give you guys some free information. So if you appreciate that, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll see if NVIDIA bounces. It still kind of looks like a bounce to me right here. But I'm going to go ahead and walk away before I give more back. I don't think it suits me today to keep trading here. You know, again, if you want to check out Apex, they got $15 accounts basically right now on Apex. So basically $15 accounts on Apex right now. You can get one for $15 if you buy a 5-pack bundle of the 25K. Super cheap to learn. Great way to help support the channel. Yeah, that's July, Steve. And so again, you want to help support the channel, use code BGT. You can use it on Tradeify as well. Tradeify has their select plan that kind of lets you pick your path. Take Profits, great, allows daily payouts as well. So there's a lot of good stuff. You can use my code on it. Y'all be good. Have a great day. I'll see you guys a little bit later tomorrow. Tomorrow we do have the JOLTS report. Wednesday we have the ADP data going live. We have ADP data going live on Wednesday. And then Thursday we have jobless claims. And then Friday we have the NFP unemployment report. So a lot of stuff going on this week. Y'all be careful. I'm going to walk away while I'm down. I'm down like $500 on the day. But again, it's peanuts compared to what I'm up on the month. So, we're going to walk away and just accept the losing day. I think it's important to do so. Y'all have a great day. Y'all be safe in this market right now, especially. And I'll see you guys next time.